Hi, Jeremy Cordeux in the Court of Public Opinion. I'm just on air here to let you know that we'll be live streaming the Court of Public Opinion every Friday between 9 o'clock and 12 on jeremycordeux.com. Please join us. We'd love to have you.
Hey Adelaide, it's your boy Con from Brighton Trophy Centre.
For my team. You ready, mate? Party people!
And now it's time, live from the Oscar Studios, it's Best Team Men.
There was this fucking huge fox in our backyard running around going, shit, what am I doing here?
Yeah, there was. Best team man, Andy Munn, Jarrod Walsh. Just a duo this time
We're
around.
losing members left, right and centre.
Yeah. And also people on the show.
Thank you very much to Con and Lena at Brighton Trophy Centre,
Yes.
Steve the Pirate, Mind and Movement Physio, Shifty Lizard. We've had one guest for hashtag the Shifty Sound, so we'll replay that for you throughout this round and get some guesses. But have we got Shifty Lizard beer here?
Yeah, oh, yeah, hang on. Yeah,
You going to go get it?
Can you keep talking?
Yeah, there's plenty else coming up. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks. Apologies for not being here last week. It was Easter and time got away from us. We have a couple of announcements, but we thought we need to record something. Andy's walking in with Shifty Lizard Easy Ale. It's cold as well.
Yeah, boy, the fridge works.
You didn't drink it all.
It's an empty box. I drank it all.
You did.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you very much to the team at Shifty Lizard.
Is that classed as a carton? Or is that half a carton?
Well, there's 16 in there. Isn't a carton's normally 24. It's a box.
It's a box set, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you call a carton of 16 beers? That's not a joke, by the way, but
A fun night, everybody.
I actually feel like one now.
Do you want to crack one?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a beer. Let's do it. Who cares? Just open this up again.
Oh, God, what was that?
My daughter's starting to tell jokes, and they're really not funny, so I told her one the other night.
Yeah.
All right, ready, Andy? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I need to do app.
I need to do app. Who?
Do you, mate? Go to the toilet.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh.
So we need to discuss what happened in the intro there before we get into what's going on with Matt.
Yeah, so about the fox?
Yeah. Can you just talk through the message that I sent you to get that audio?
Yes. Would you like me to get the message up, I guess?
Yeah, get it up, mate.
How about the message? Yeah.
You're well?
Jarrod Walsh. Here we go.
Cheers, mate.
All right. Hang on. Let's put it all over the mix.
This doesn't give you a license to open them all.
It does, sir. All right.
Cheers. Thank you very much, Shifty Lizard.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great. The amount of people that got in touch and said, I'll be so happy if I never have to hear Rosie eat on the microphone again. Like, it made them physically ill.
She had a massive thing about that at Nova. You could hear it during her breaks.
It was so bad. That's why she's not here this week. We sacked her.
Wasn't it an email that you sent
Maybe
me?
it was an email.
Yeah.
So the other night, sitting at home, I was just about to get into the bath, I think, because I like to have baths. Yeah. So my wife sometimes, when she's got nothing else to do, she listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It's really supportive. She really enjoys it.
When she's got nothing to do.
Yeah. She said at the start of this year, she said it's the most me that she's ever heard, which is great because it's unfiltered, but still knowing the guidelines of not defaming anyone or getting into trouble.
Broadcasting.
Exactly. Shout out to Peter Ford. So,
Still banned?
yeah, but I follow him on the Best Team Men account. He's a real piece of work, that guy. Oh, God.
Well, now you're going to have to tell us all about it quickly.
Yeah, so he basically, with what happened on radio the other week with Jeremy Cordeux at 5AA, he inserted himself into the story. We will get to that because we need to speak about the past few weeks of radio and the controversy that has happened in the radio landscape. And it's a good thing Rosie's not here because she's currently doing some work in radio. So you and I can talk about this openly and freely. Yeah. But my missus was sitting there. She was listening to the podcast of last week, which is awesome. And all of a sudden, my 4-year-old daughter Rain's like, oh, Daddy, I'm going to listen too. So she's listening. She's paying really close attention. Next minute, there's a fucking fox. And Rain is at that stage where she's really absorbing it. So the fear that we both had that she was going to say that, because she said shit once.
Yeah.
And that was from my brother-in-law, and she's only said it once. Thankfully, she didn't repeat it. But I freaked out, jumped out of the bath, turn it down. Because
That's awesome.
Imagine if you were the person that taught my daughter to say the F word.
I'd take that as I'd hopefully get an award from the Brighton Trophy Centre.
You would. You definitely would get an award. How was your Easter? It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, it has been. It feels like years. It was busy, man, because Little Box Co. had an Easter selection. So literally we had probably the busiest 4 days of the business so far.
Yep.
So that was great, making lots of boxes and delivering them across Adelaide. So that was pretty busy. Obviously, little Millie's first Easter.
Yes.
Still not understanding what's going on, but like,
how old is she?
She is 10 months now.
Okay. She walking?
Just
sitting
up. Sitting up, standing up if she wants to.
Talking?
Yeah, she says, Dada.
Oh, that's
nice. All she says.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
So I've trained her well and pissed off Yasmin.
Tick, tick.
Yeah.
Wait, can I do the dings? They're not dings, are they?
No, they're not dings. What are they? That'll teach me. Easter was about it was George's second Easter, so she was she's about to turn 3 in June, so she's understanding about what's going on and able to have conversations regarding it. So she loved the fact there was just chocolate everywhere and presents and going on the egg hunt and stuff. The great thing was on the Sunday, because the boys are at their dad's on the weekend, she got to do the egg hunt by herself. So couldn't understand.
It's funny, you got to say egg hunt very slowly. Eh?
Yeah, the egg hunt. So on the Monday when the boys came back from their dad's place, we gave them another egg hunt.
Oh, gosh. that was close.
Yeah, it was very close. I could feel it as I was getting halfway through. I could have thrown it in a sea if I needed to.
Yeah, don't.
And when the boys came back and they were like revved up, ready to roll. They're 5 and 7, right? They know what's going down. She was prepped. So she was determined, had the determined face on and went around and tried to score all the eggs, which was fantastic. But the bad thing is about, obviously, Easter long weekend with kids. On the Monday, especially when they're all at the house eating chocolate, everyone went to bed late. It was just a chaotic. It was like you went to the Adelaide Zoo and you let every animal out.
Yeah, it's every podcast you refer to your house and family as
it's not the
zoo.
greatest, I guess, but they're lovely people. Just animals when they get too much sugar in them.
No, that's totally fine. That's exactly like my daughter, like where I was going, if she eats a chocolate now at 3 in the afternoon, she's not going to want to go to bed at 7, so I've got to prevent it. Like you become like a helicopter parent.
Yeah, I totally think about that sort of stuff. Yasmin doesn't sort of work like that. So, just before the boys go to bed, you guys been really good today. Here's some chocolate. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yep.
You're just giving them sugar. They're going to be awake now, or they're just going to have a rocky ass sleep. So, bad term. This beer's great, isn't it? Shifty Lizard. Hey, brewski, easy ale.
Ding.
Yeah. There is a way to change it.
No, we don't need to change it. I kind of like it like that. We went to Encounter Bay for a few nights, which is awesome. So we got an Airbnb.
Oh, yeah. I've never actually rented an Airbnb before. Is it pretty simple?
Yeah, it's really simple.
Yeah,
and
right.
it's awesome. So it was a 2-story house basically on the waterfront at Encounter Bay. It was midweek, so it was quite cheap, which is brilliant. And it was really cool. You're allowed pets in the house, and we didn't take our dog, but obviously the people before us did because the rugs all smelt like dog, which was a bit uncomfortable. But just to get away, and we're so lucky in Adelaide to have places around that you can go to things like this. Encounter Bay, right next to Victor Harbour. The sunset was beautiful. I wanted to take Rain, my daughter, fishing because I never did that with my dad really. So it was great to go fishing with her. I bought her a fishing rod. I've just cast in, and I'm a horrible fisherman. Like, I'm so bad. Just on the shore, cast in, caught a puffer fish, which is the smallest fish in the world.
But also, isn't that one where you look at it and go, oh, should I touch it or not?
Exactly. And the thing is, I don't touch the fish. So I had to get my wife, who had our 3-month-old daughter strapped to her, then leaning down and taking the fish off the hook.
So your 3-month-old daughter had more fish action than you did.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then the next day, we went to another area where this guy told us you can go fishing to catch lots of brim. Yeah, that was fantastic. I caught the smallest brim in the world, but there was like a beehive around me. So the whole time I was waving away bees, and it was a nightmare. It was like I was being attacked. So fishing is something I'll probably never do again. I'm not very good. I admire people who can catch fish. They know what to catch. They know what bait to use. They know how to hold the fish. They're not scared of them. I'm none of that stuff.
Well, the thing is, when they say, oh, that area is good for brim. Yeah, cool, no worries. Go to that area. What if you don't catch a brim? Do you have a Google image out for a brim so you know exactly what it looks like? Because when you catch a fish, I'm freaking out so much that I've caught a fish and there's a slimy animal on the end of my line that has teeth or a mouth or whatever.
Yep.
That I don't know if I'm allowed to touch it. Does it have little poisonous, those little like nails or whatever on the back of their
fingernails?
Fingernails, spikes.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
I mean, we're definitely having a fishing podcast now.
I think it's a great idea to get it started.
Shout out Rex Hunt.
Yeah, and Cozzy.
Here is the vanilla slice fish. So that was it was a pretty good experience. I got recognised at Victor Harbour.
Yeah, you did.
But no one came up to me. They tweeted me the next day saying, "Hey mate, I saw you at the Victor Harbour shops. Was going to come and say hello, but didn't." And I'm like, cheers. Which is pretty funny. But the not funny thing was when we got back, we went through the conservation park where the animal park is. If you've got kids, take them to that animal park.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like kangaroos, free roaming. Awesome.
I always worry about those sort of parks because their budgets are lower for this.
Yeah, and you don't know when an animal's going to snap as well. You're like Jurassic Park. But a few days later, right outside where we were staying, a guy died. So I don't know if you saw over the past couple of days, a scuba diver died in Encounter Bay. That was literally outside where we were staying.
Oh, good holiday.
Oh, well, I'm glad. I'm glad we weren't there. On the way back, we were going down the highway, saw a car on fire. There was so much happening.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and we were only there for 2 nights. So it was a good experience. Came back for Easter and then so excited that childcare is open again.
Oh, yeah. Damn straight. Damn straight. Do you send both of them to childcare yet?
No. Rain's at childcare. Aspen will go soon enough.
Yep.
But it's been a good experience. It's nice to just do really nothing for Easter, like just spend time with the family. We did like the Easter egg hunt with the nieces and stuff. So that
did you
was
have to say no to any gigs?
No, it was really quiet over Easter,
really?
which is really good. Like I've found that. Oh, wait a sec. No, I had something on Saturday. I had the basketball on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
did that do something special for Easter? Did you do an Easter egg hunt at the stadium? Or?
Yeah, I'm glad you raised that. You know what was really funny?
I don't know what you tell me.
The Adelaide 36ers is we're going to do a halftime activation, and we'd love for you to get involved. Obviously, you can help us work out what you're doing.
An activation, if you're listening, is like a mini event within the event.
Yeah. Guess who I had to represent at the event and say thanks to?
I don't know, Singapore?
No, Nova 919.
What? Did you? That is awesome.
Yeah, so two bizarre things have happened. So the first one, it was unbelievable. So like they've said, great. So we're going to drop stress balls from the roof of the entertainment centre onto the court where people have to catch them, which is awesome, right?
Hang on, how high is the roof? They could kill someone.
Stress balls.
Yeah.
They're the spongy ones.
Oh,
not bouncy balls, not marbles.
Not stress balls that've got like the heavier massage
so
balls.
So people were catching them. It was really cool. Apparently, someone from Nova was there spying on the activation to see if that was okay. Got no brief, no thanks to Nova. Listened to Ben and Liam. None of that stuff. It was just like
that's Nova.
Exactly. But with something else which happened, which was quite funny beforehand, and I didn't know how to handle it. Was watching at the footy the week before. They show a commercial on the TV pre-game, and they advertise everything that's great about the station. The wrong commercial aired. So this had Kate, Tim and Marty on the TV commercial that aired at Adelaide Oval in front of 30,000 people, when the show on Nova is Kate, Tim and Joel. And I'm watching it going, do I tell the people at Nova they're playing the wrong ad promoting the wrong show? Because if people there found out, they'd be in lots of trouble.
If all three of them there found out, they'd be in lots of trouble.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't tell them. No. I just took a photo. I'm like, no, it's not my job.
Surely they would have had people in the crowd that either work at the station or even fans would let them know, going, hey, or Marty might have been in the crowd going, why the fuck am I still up on the board?
Yeah. It was a bit weird because it's a very, you don't make a mistake like that. Pre-watch the video. How hard is it to pre-watch the video?
Yeah, well, I mean, they do the whole, what are they called? The signs on the...
LED.
The LED around the oval.
Yeah.
And they used to fuck that up a fair bit.
Yeah. Very weird ones.
Actually, you know what? Like, I've noticed heaps. I don't know if this is Adelaide Oval or the MCG, but like the actual physical LED banners are all missing like little pixels now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they're all starting to get damaged and old. And you
Too
can
many
see it on
people
TV.
kicking them.
And I turned it on and saw damaged pixels and I'm like, the client's not going to be happy on that one.
Well, what they're doing now with a lot of advertising is they're doing a lot of digital advertising. So, like at the cricket, for example, you go to the cricket and on the ground, there's no paint on the grounds anymore. It's all digital, so they can sell it to Australia and then sell it to an Indian market. So, all different sponsors, which is kind of cool. Apart from if the team playing is wearing green, then it kind of stuffs up the green screen, which stuffs up, and it looks like they've got no legs, which is a little bit weird.
That's hilarious.
The radio stuff is interesting because we didn't really cover it because we weren't here last week, and it was we need to talk about what's happened on Adelaide radio over the past few weeks.
And it's almost like, do we play the Radio Fails intro? It is not a...
Do you have the Radio Fails intro?
Yeah, of course I do.
I think play it because we should deep dive into what's happened in Adelaide radio.
All right, let's get deep.
Fails.
So where do we start? There's been a lot that has occurred at the majority of radio stations around Adelaide. There was a breakfast show that went missing.
Yep.
There was a breakfast show which was reported to ACMA for inappropriate language. And there was a breakfast show on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings which no longer exists. Where do we start?
Probably at the top of the list.
Okay, so Mix 102.3, Aaron Phillips and Soda, they went off air for a few days and then they basically vanished. They left their anchor Shane Lowe there to basically say the guys are back at some stage.
Literally, it's a 3-4 hour pad session for him.
Pretty much. So they were supposed to be back, but then they didn't return. They had the rest of the week off, supposed to return on the Monday, and then it was confirmed they were going to take 3 weeks off. Now, keeping in mind, 2 of those 3 weeks are out of ratings period, which every breakfast show has holidays.
Yeah, unless you've fucked your contract and you've got to work all the way through to the end of the year.
Basically what we did.
Yeah, what we did, yes. And keep in mind, they said the official word on that Thursday when the breakfast show disappeared. They said that one of them was sick, and that if one of them wasn't going to go on, both of them are not going to go on. But then the show disappeared on the Friday and never came back.
Yeah, so something has happened, and what has been reported in the press here in Adelaide is that one of the announcers may have tension with the program director of Mix 102.3, but then soon after that, an image came out in the newspaper here in Adelaide and online that the station had announced that Mark Asen, formerly from Network 10, formerly from Mix 102.3, I think he was on Triple M as well. And
currently
ABC,
on the Ozcast Network.
Currently on the Ozcast Network, was announced as executive producer on the show, and then that was retracted. There's so much to unpack. Which there's sensitivities around it too. So I think all I'll say on this is something's obviously happened, because you don't just vanish from a show unless something has happened.
No.
The person that I feel the most for in this whole drama is Mark Asen.
Absolutely.
Mark has had a very public mental health battle with his own demons, substance abuse, and in turn rehab, which he really has identified. My voice just broke then, like Adelaide, you know, every time, man, far out. And what really saddens me is the fact that if this is true, that he has been offered the job, accepted the job, they've sent the press release to the media for publication, and then that has been taken away from him. I got in touch with him only because I said, mate, I don't care about the specifics that goes on behind the scenes in radio, but mentally, are you okay? And he's obviously not. So I really feel for him, and that happens in many industries. But when someone who is that fragile mentally and continually going through his challenges, it's a really tough situation. And if people are causing that, if people are their attitudes and how they are handling themselves are causing that to happen, then that needs to be addressed and identified, and it's not on.
Yeah, essentially they need to get their head checked if that's how they're running the business.
Yeah, so they are supposed to be back on air in a week or on Monday. We're recording this podcast on a Thursday, so it's going to be it's a bit of a weird one because Erin Phillips is new on the Mix Show.
Yep.
She would be thinking, is this what radio's like? Which I've spent a bit of time with Erin and tried to help her understand that's not normally what radio's like. Like there is a light at the end of the tunnel somewhere, but you just need to be in the right environment. So I feel for the people who are really affected by what's going on there at the moment. And it's also really important that, Rosie's been on air at Mix this week. So I don't want to speak in specifics of absolutely anything that's gone on because Rosie's told us nothing and we're not asking her anything because it's none of our business and it's not Rosie's business to tell us anything. So we won't put her under that pressure. The next one is Triple M. Yeah. So Ruined It's, their breakfast show, had a caller on. His name's Tommy, who calls up the show every week, but he's an Australian guy who puts on an Asian accent.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like it should happen.
Like Mahatma Coke kind of style from a few years ago.
So I don't want to ruin the story because I don't know it, right? But do they know that he was doing that or have they organised that he's a character?
Yeah, he's a character that comes on, but it's only taken a couple of years for someone to complain to ACMA, which is the radio authority.
ACMA. ACMA Calumet.
Don't mention the war.
So ring. Hello, it's ACMA here. You guys got to... Yep.
Yeah. So they have had to apologise on the air and take that character off the radio. So they were in trouble.
I really can't believe that has actually...
It was on Media Watch and everything.
But it's passed through so many people to get to where it was for so many years.
Yes. And then the... next one was probably the most publicised one, which was Jeremy Cordeux, who does weekend breakfast on 5AA, used to do evenings. He's got
used to own 5DN.
Yeah, he used to own 5DN. He's got such a strong history in radio. He came on the air on a Saturday morning at about 6:30 and reflected Brittany Higgins. The audio, he allegedly suggested that she was a silly little girl who got drunk, and then that ultimately has resulted in her being allegedly raped.
Yep.
So his comments that morning blew up online. There were articles written that night. Matt Gilbertson from The Advertiser wrote an article about it, and then the next morning Jeremy was on the air again.
Really?
And then
was he making comment about the articles while on air?
No. And the Monday morning, David Pemberthy on their breakfast show announced that he had been sacked. There's a couple of things here to unpack. So first of all, Peter Ford.
Wow, that came out of nowhere.
Peter Ford that day put a statement on his Twitter account saying, although I'm implicated in this, I didn't agree with what Jeremy said. This is what I stand for.
Was he on air with him at the time or something?
It's a very, very good question, wondering what happened. No. So what happened was Peter, and I asked him on Twitter from the Best Team Man account because he's blocked my personal one. I said, how are you involved in this? When did he speak to you? He recorded with Peter Ford on the Friday to replay it on the Saturday morning. And he had a pre-recorded interview with Peter Ford where he was talking about Brittany Higgins and Peter was agreeing with him with what he said. And then after the pre-record, Jeremy went on his own monologue and then said what he said on the air. But Peter still needed to say that he was part of it.
But that's how Peter rolls because he's a freelance media person. So he needs to be. He wants to be involved.
He wants to be involved and be in the story, which is why he puts as his Twitter bio the best and most widely heard entertainment reporter. So the next day on the morning show on 7, he said, Peter Ford's like, yes, I've also been sacked from the radio station. They've got an internal review. He doesn't know any of this stuff. They would have had an all-staff meeting to say nothing. The other things which stand out for me, if this was live when Jeremy said this thing on the air, there is a dump button that Jeremy has and his producer has. So the dump button, for anyone who doesn't know radio, basically everything that's said is happening 8 seconds after it's originally said. Jeremy has one at his microphone. The producer has one at their microphone. They could have dumped it. And if I was the producer and I heard that, I would have dumped and said, if he had a crack at me, I would go, I am protecting your career and the reputation of the radio station. He didn't say anything defamatory, Jeremy. He said something which obviously goes against everything that society believes at the moment. And all you need to do is look at Adelaide now and look at the Facebook comments of the reflection of society that agree with Jeremy, and it disgusts me.
Well, the hardest thing as well, I guess, is he's an old school media person that has just given an opinion on something that he's seen.
Yes.
But then people have just heard that one sentence and may not have heard the rest of the information. Is that because I didn't listen to the show, so I don't know.
What he said, he was very clear in what he said.
Okay.
And his view was that she was a silly little girl that got drunk, and it's basically victim blaming.
Yeah, okay.
And that's disgusting. Like, Jeremy has a daughter.
Yeah.
The boss of 5AA has daughters.
Yeah.
So immediately you go, no matter what you believe, this does not reflect the views of the station. And yeah, I can also understand the arguments of people going, this is what happens in talkback radio. They are paid to have opinions. Yeah. But something like that, which is so sensitive, maybe just think again. Like, maybe think again to say that stuff. So his employment was terminated and he was gone by Monday.
Wow. You can see in the traditional media of an older talkback announcer how they think. Like, you've seen it with sports shows and stuff like that, where they go, this is going to get some outrage from our listeners and some feedback, which means I get calls and people start listening to the show.
Yeah.
But obviously it's backfired on him, I'm assuming, because he doesn't have a job anymore.
Well, he doubled down on it. Channel 7 interviewed him and he doubled down on it, saying, I would like to speak to her and understand, why she's made these choices and actions. And, like, he has not backed down on it. He doesn't need to, mate. He could buy the radio station. Like, he doesn't care.
He's tried to many times.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing which frustrated me the most, he said she's just a silly little girl who got drunk. This coming from a guy who has been done DUI a couple of times over the past few years. She's not the silly little girl that got drunk.
A week or two before he got done.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I know who the silly person is that is getting drunk and getting behind the wheel of a car and putting other people's lives at risk, my friend.
Yeah, it's pretty ironic.
It is very ironic. So it's been. If you have any questions about that, you can always hit us up on social media, because it is a juicy topic and a lot of people want to know how the media works in that regard.
Yeah.
So let us know. Let's move on from the radio stuff. There's still a bit to get through. Should we talk about the Shifty Sound while we're drinking a Shifty Lizard?
Absolutely. You know what? With these cans, so the Brewski Easy Ale cans, right? When I lifted up the can for the first time, just because we had bottles of it last time.
Yeah, correct.
Okay? So
yeah,
this is the first time we had a can. And the sticker on the can is textured, so it's almost like a grip.
Yep.
And no matter how many of these brewskis you end up having,
you
can always hold your beer because it won't slip out of your hands.
Great point.
So anyway.
Kind of.
The Shifty Sound.
Oh, this has been good, hasn't it?
It's been really good. So we had one guest from Stewbacker who wanted to talk about the Shifty Sound. Simon Keith got his voucher to Shifty Lizard. He's very appreciative of that. So this is a sound. If you want to guess what it is, hashtag the Shifty Sound on social media. Hashtag the Shifty Sound. And here is the sound.
Oh, it's a juicy one.
It is a really juicy one. Oh, sorry, play it again.
Oh, okay.
The guess from Stewbacker was, is it popping the kid off a PVC poster tube? I'm thinking he means
let's
lid.
have a listen.
Sounds like it, but I mean, what is popping the kid off a PVC poster tube? Do you mean lid, Stu?
I mean,
far
what are we
out.
doing?
This spell chick for a reason. So it's definitely not that. That is incorrect. Have a think about it. Send us in your guesses. Should we drop a clue?
Let's drop one and hopefully they pick it up.
Okay. The clue is a street in Adelaide. It's a street in Adelaide. That is all I'm going to say. Have a think about it, and we can continue on with that. What we haven't addressed yet is what's going on with Matt. We didn't even get to that yet. So we have said on social media we have an announcement in regards to what is going on with Matt. Matt, a couple of weeks ago, had decided to take some time away from the Best Team Men podcast. We have had Rosie Panetta on for the past few weeks, who has done a stellar job. Yep. The update is we will have an update next week.
Good update.
We caught up with Matt today. We had a chat with him just to see how he's going, and Matt's well-being and how Matt is going is our first concern and consideration. But this time next week, we will be able to let you know the direction this podcast is taking. The podcast is definitely continuing, so there's no issues with that. But we will be able to let you know what's happening regarding the evolution of the podcast in about 7 days.
Can't wait to find out. All right, speaking of sexy.
Sexy. Sad.
It's been a good episode this week of the Press Box EP.
You don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, the Prex thing. They had a special guest, didn't they?
They had Brett Maher from the Adelaide 36ers.
Is he still Adelaide-based?
He's still Adelaide-based.
Really?
His name's on the court.
Really?
Yeah,
Brett Maher Court?
Brett Maher Court. That's exactly what it's called.
Which one? Entertainment Centre or the old one?
Yeah, they moved the name to the new one. Yeah.
Did you just peel it off and then re-stick it down?
They did. No, it's a very good show. The boys, hard-hitting sports journalists, and it's always great to hear them because I sometimes think if I'm going to listen to Press Box app, maybe I have to listen through the whole thing to hear something sexy. How soon did I get in today, Andy?
It was literally a couple of minutes.
So they accidentally say sexy things. Have a listen to today.
Get on it ASAP.
Sexy.
And you can see him like with his hand go, you get on that. You get on that, you sexy thing.
So demanding, sexy Sam.
Yeah.
So have a listen. They had a chat to Brett Maher. The boys are up and about, which is very exciting. I wanted to take the time because you said outside Ozcast that you wanted to talk about what I'm doing next.
Oh, yeah, because we haven't spoken about this.
No, we haven't spoken about this at all because it's happened
potty?
over the past 2 weeks, basically. So sitting down and having a chat with my wife and some other people just about my journey and what I want to do next, it was a pretty, overwhelming chat I was having, just going I'm glad that I haven't missed radio because I knows that it doesn't define who I am. And having to think about different things that I do, I've really worked out that I do radio, podcasting, social media, hosting, heaps of stuff and put together. The word is I'm a communicator. And from that, I have decided to put on a communications workshop because I think everything that I've learned over my journey over the past 20 years, there's some really important information that other people can learn. And it's not necessarily how to talk into a microphone, but it's just how to communicate in general. So whether that is one-on-one chats or conversations, how to have effective conversations, whether that's to a group of 10 people if you're presenting to your colleagues, or whether that's to 100,000 people, how to simplify a message and how to get it across. And you and I have worked together for a long time, and we've had some good leaders and we've had some really shithouse ones.
Should we talk about them?
Nope. No. We're in the workshop with images.
That's right.
Both equally important. The good ones are really good to immerse, to immerse yourself around and go, this is great, this is what I want. The bad ones are really good as well because you go, this is what I don't want to be, this doesn't work with me.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for all of them. But what I've decided to do with this workshop is help people communicate better.
Yep.
So last week I put something out on social media and said, I'm going to do this, email me if you can. And the feedback was unbelievable. I'm going to have 20 people in this first workshop. That's all I wanted. I had 23 emails in a day. And it's unreal.
Yeah.
These are people.
All spam from someone that wants to sell you some stuff
so
from Wish.
Now I've sent $1 million to Ethiopia and I've got 4 kids that are from the Netherlands, which is brilliant. And I'm invested in Bitcoin. So the people that have contacted me, their stories are so different. And the most pleasing thing is one of them wants to get into radio. The others don't. The other ones are going, how can I communicate better in the workplace? How do I, a woman said, I've got male bosses. How do I actually get through to them? There's a lot of people wanting to learn about their self-confidence. There's a lot of people wanting to understand how to speak better. And my actual philosophy is you need to learn how to communicate with yourself before you can communicate well with other people. We do of speaking and projecting your voice, that's a skill set. It is that you can learn. But that's the last thing.
That's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, it is. Everything else comes before that. So I was really overwhelmed by everybody who got in touch because it shows that there are so many people out there that need a bit of help of how to find their self-confidence to be able to communicate. The philosophy that I have and have broken down, I think is a really powerful one. That was not me. But it applies to everybody.
Yeah.
And I am putting on this workshop, but I'm going to do one-on-one consulting as well. And I'm happy to move into businesses if they want to see this. So it is called How to Speak Good because the irony is it's not a good sentence. But it's amazing and I'm really excited about it. I've got a little video that I'm going to put up over the next few days, which I filmed yesterday just to talk more about it.
Yep.
But it shows a real pathway and a journey. If you are keen, you can go to jarrodwalsh.com.au. There's a Speak Good workshop link there. But it's exciting, man. And the most pleasing thing is the people aren't necessarily going, I want to do radio, because you can go to radio school and learn the techniques and stuff. Yeah, I can do that, definitely. But I want to help you learn to communicate in so many different ways before you go, I'm going to go to radio school. I'm going to sit down, learn how to anchor a show, walk out, and then wait for your phone to ring to get a capital city network job. It's not going to happen.
No.
So I want to help you learn how to value yourself. And I think valuing myself is the thing that got me through what happened last year. So it's a...
Well, you were able to communicate how you were feeling and how you were going post event, right?
Yeah. So it's really exciting. And I've got some little surprises, which is awesome. I won't talk about them here, but anyone who gets involved, I ring them up personally and I say, what do you want to get out of this? And then I'll talk to them and then, it's good.
Tell me that when you've got 1,000 people to call. All right.
Mate, what are you doing for the next 2 years? I'm just calling people all day. Shit.
It sounds great, because I was going to say while you were telling us about it, when I was at the Australian Podcast Awards a few years ago.
Congrats, mate.
Thanks. I was there, didn't win.
Okay.
But appreciate the feedback. I was speaking to a guy there who does a podcast about storytelling, and that's his main job. Is he's a storytelling consultant. And I was like, who needs to use you? Like, who are your clients? And I was thinking people on radio, because, I was in that world.
Yeah.
He's like, no, business leaders, corporate leaders, the same thing, probably.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed, man. Like, the storytelling is such a powerful word, because I've gone through a lot in my career.
Yep.
Good stuff, not so good stuff, really challenging stuff. Things people don't think about, like the amount of times that you've had to go on air when you've got a sick kid at home and you've got to pretend everything's great.
Oh, yeah. One shift I found out my grandpa had died and I finished the shift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that people don't know. Sorry.
Boost team and everybody.
Yeah, people don't know that you have to put everything on hold, but understanding how to communicate effectively is a really powerful thing.
Yeah.
And I think the storytelling aspect is good. I could stand in front of people and say, now, if you go to chapter 7 of this book and read this excerpt, I'm not going to be passionate about it. If I want to understand the audience that I'm speaking to, I'm just going to go, this situation here this is how I handled it, and this is how experience has led me to this point. So every experience leads us to a certain point. And I listen to so many podcasts of experts talking about things that I'm not just going to read out what they said. I'm going to play it to them and say, listen to this person right here who talks about this. This is why this applies to you.
Yeah.
So I'm basically going to facilitate a collection of communicators to go to people. I want to help you, A, understand who you're speaking to, B, understand how to speak to yourself, and C, put all of that together to speak confidently with others, knowing who you are as a person, because that in itself is power.
I want to know, have you chosen the colour of your McLaren like the Mojo Master?
Oh, see, I'm glad you said that, because there's an element of those people that...
I was going to say, have you got your fireworks and your headset ready?
No.
Because I know
really
that's
important.
not you.
It's not me. And I see a lot of these people that stand in front of you and go, I'm going to tell you how to make $1 million in 5 years.
Yeah, and then you clap for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I am not about that at all. This is a collaboration where I want to hear people tell their stories.
Yep.
If they are comfortable enough telling them, and working as a community. I want to create a community of people and not go, here's the workshop, see you later, I'm never speaking to you again.
Generally want to help rather than just being a business that makes cash from doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's, if I can do that, then my job is done. And I'm happy to still speak to people after this and learn with them, because they are trusting me to help them. So this is a journey we're going together.
Well, I feel like there's an opening for another podcast called Speak Good.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to talk about? Do I have a radio fail to play?
No.
Yeah, great. Well, we spoke about radio fails anyway. I need to go to the toilet.
Good.
So is that it?
No, you do it here.
Okay.
Sit back and relax, guys. You're about to hear a journey.
Con, quick play Con. I'm literally about to go to the toilet. Con, Lena, Stavros, Shifty Lizard. Oh, my God. I'm going to go to the toilet. We're back next week with the announcement.
See ya.
Brought to you by the Bright Trophy Center. Cups, trophy, badges, medals. Yeah, we do it better. Best team, man. DTC, BTM, BTS. Yeah. Best team, man. Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Okay.
Hi, Jeremy Cordeux in the Court of Public Opinion. I'm just on air here to let you know that we'll be live streaming the Court of Public Opinion every Friday between 9 o'clock and 12 on jeremycordeux.com. Please join us. We'd love to have you.